Okay, so what if Earth? What if it isn't just, our home? What if it's actually some kind of specific spiritual training ground? Or maybe even a prison planet?
Mm.
It's a pretty mind-bending idea, right? Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, using material from Awakening on the Prison Planet. Self, Soul, and Cosmos.
That's the one.
Our mission is, well, to try and unpack what the sources say about Earth's real nature, what awakening truly means in this context, and the really surprising parts that make up you. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's a fascinating framework. The text paints Earth as this um, God-level examination,
Hmm.
a place really designed for intense spiritual training, rapid growth.
Okay, a God-level examination.
But, and this is key, it's also explicitly called a prison planet, sometimes even a dungeon.
A dungeon, why? Just because
Yeah.
it's tough.
Well, partly the challenge, yes,
Yeah.
but also because of how hard it is for spirits to actually leave. The source suggests the success rate for, let's say, graduating. It's incredibly low.
Wow. A training ground in a prison. That's quite the paradox. Does it explain why? Like, what makes leaving so difficult?
It does lay it out.
Yeah.
Beyond just the, difficult life experiences, the text describes Earth being physically encased. Layers of ice, layers of water.
Huh?
And this is the big one, a high-voltage electromagnetic net surrounding the planet.
An electromagnetic net. What does that do?
Well, two things, primarily. First, it acts as a barrier. Spirits can't just easily fly off. But its second function is arguably even more critical. It causes memory erasure.
Memory erasure, you mean?
Exactly. When a spirit reincarnates, passes through this net, they lose all memory of past lives, who they really are, their purpose,
Yeah.
everything. You start totally fresh each time.
That sounds incredibly bleak, like you're trapped in a loop and you don't even know it.
It's a powerful mechanism for keeping spirits bound to the cycle, yes.
So then, what's the point of awakening or enlightenment if you just forget it all next time around?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. The awakening isn't really about learning something new for the next life, necessarily. It's about remembering right now, in this life,
Remembering what?
your true self, where you actually came from, why you're here on Earth, and where you're ultimately headed. It's about rediscovering those universal laws, your connection to the source, the creator.
And this connects to maybe the biggest claim in the material, this idea that you are God.
That's the core realization.
But how does that square with being stuck on a prison planet? If you're God, why the prison? Is it like an illusion or something we chose?
The material leans towards the idea that the prison isn't so much iron bars, but a state of forgetting. You are a divine being, but you've forgotten that nature. The God-level examination isn't just a test to pass.
It's the process of remembering.
Exactly. The awakening is the remembering. It's regaining conscious awareness of your own divinity.
Mm-hmm.
And that changes everything about how you perceive this reality, this prison.
Okay, that's a lot to take in. And the sources apparently break down who we are into different layers. It's not just body and soul.
No, it's more complex. Think of it in levels. At the deepest level, your true essence is the spirit, the young. That's your divine self.
Will you?
Right. Now, within that, you have the original spirit, the Bon Young, kind of your higher overall consciousness. Then a piece of that gets sent into the material world.
Like a probe.
Sort of, yeah. That's the avatar spirit, the Bunsen Young. That's the part of you experiencing this life right now on Earth, gathering data, experiences to send back up to the Bon Young.
Okay, spirit, original spirit, avatar spirit. Got it. So where does the soul, the Han, fit in? It's described kind of strangely like cotton candy.
Yeah, the Han is described as this cotton candy-like energy mass. It's often what feels like you day to day in the physical world. It's the part that carries habits, karma, across lifetimes. It continuously reincarnates.
So the Han reincarnates, but it's not the true spirit, the young.
Correct. It's more like a vehicle for the young's experience within the reincarnation cycle. And its fate varies. It can ascend, grow closer to the divine if you live well. But if one commits significant evil, the Han can actually diminish, even dissipate entirely. Or, if it gets weighed down by negative attachments, what the text calls bake energy, it might become stuck as a ghost after death.
Okay, so the Han is temporary in a way, or at least conditional. What about this bake? You mentioned it weighs down the Han.
Right, the ethereal body, or bake. Think of it as the energetic glue, or maybe the battery pack for one lifetime.
Yeah.
It holds the young, Han, and the mind together in the physical body. It enables emotions, drives.
It doesn't reincarnate?
No. The bake is tied to the physical life. It dissipates roughly 120 years or so after the physical body dies. And then, of course, there's the physical body, the yokche, just the temporary shell.
Wow. So many layers. Spirit, soul, ethereal body, physical body, and all this individual drama is happening while Earth itself is changing. You mentioned cycles.
Yes, the material talks about a massive cycle for Earth itself, 25,800 years long.
A cosmic year, almost.
You can see it that way.
Yep.
And within this vast cycle, life evolves upwards. Plants become animals, animals become humans. And humans, the potential is there to evolve into gods.
Humans into gods. So that connects back to the God-level examination.
Precisely. It links our personal journey of awakening to the planet's own evolutionary path.
Okay, so the big question then. If this is a God-level examination, what happens if you, well, fail? If you don't awaken in a particular life?
The consequence, according to these sources, is simply you continue. You remain in the cycle. Continued reincarnation here on Earth, facing the challenges, the memory wipes, until you do learn the lessons and awaken.
So you just keep repeating the course, essentially.
Until you graduate, yes.
We've covered some really huge ideas here. Earth as this intense spiritual test, maybe even a prison, our own forgotten divine nature, and these incredibly intricate layers of our being's spirit, soul, and all the rest. It definitely makes you look at everyday life differently.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it leaves you with a rather provocative thought, doesn't it? If Earth is a kind of prison and the main lock is that memory erasure, what if the key isn't finding some physical escape hatch?
What then?
What if the real key, the only way to truly break free, is entirely internal? That profound act of remembering, awakening to who you really are right here, right now.